see a little picture of me down there.
Yeah, you gonna get on camera?
Where's the camera button? Oh, there it is.
Hi.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. All right, I'm gonna make you big.
That's big. Oh
Some
man.
people have like a side by side option, but I do not.
I am so new to this, I couldn't tell you. I tried that
um,
Facebook thing last night and I just could not figure out how to get on.
oh, that's all right. I don't know. Well, my husband got on too, and it was giving us issues, so I don't know. Is there anybody you want to invite, or
Uh, I don't know how to invite people.
there's like an arrow at the bottom, and you can like send it to your friends, or repost it, or add it to your story.
I'll send it to Amber and Destiny. Where's Johnny at? Is he on here?
Johnny P, and then he's also that weird like at symbol.
Right, the two eyeballs or something.
Thank you, Jessica. You're awesome. He said he was getting on, but I guess he partied till like 5 a.m. So,
Oh, of course he did. Man's got stamina.
yes, yes, he does.
I guess I sent invites.
Thank you for sharing. Hi, Rashawn.
My dogs are being a pain in the butt.
That was one of my questions too,
Are they a pain in the butt? Yes. Yes, they are.
especially while you're writing.
Oh, they can. They settle down eventually. But if they hear something outside that's sketchy or another dog barking or my neighbor's dogs always howl whenever a train goes by and that they get set off by the howling.
Yep, my dogs bark all the time too. Hey, AE. Do you know any of these people? AE, Mira Monroe.
I I've friended a bunch of names that seem familiar to me, but I've never met them personally.
Hi, we're here for an indie interview with JV Osborne. If you would like to stay, I'd appreciate some taps on the screen, share it out. Hi, Honeycomb.
Jessica Stiles, I know.
Yeah, she was sharing it out for us. Invited some people. I hear them panting.
Okay. Is there a way to switch it around, I wonder?
Switch what around?
The camera. They're
Oh,
dying. They just came in and it's hot out down here.
oh, poor guys.
Nope.
Did you want to wait a couple more minutes, or we can start whenever you're ready?
Oh, we can start whenever you want. I'm here for the ride.
Diane Battle? Battle? Hmm. All right, I guess so. Tell me about this Skittles obsession.
What? Oh, nothing. I buy them in bulk. I like them. I get at work. I have a vending machine, and I'm the one that always buys out the Skittles
Really?
if I don't pack my own. Oh yeah,
Do you
I
like
get them in bulk.
the original, or is there
I
like
like
the
the
more
original,
sour
but I
Skittles,
love these wild ones.
the wild ones? You buy them in bulk. Yes, you do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How long does it last you?
Oh, that's lasted me for about a week or two.
A week? Oh man, you have a sweet
I
tooth.
I I'm even obsessive. I sort them out. I can't eat mixed flavors. I gotta sort them all out. Apple flavor, berry flavor. I think they call it CDO,
All
which is
right.
OCD in alphabetical order, as it should be.
I seen you drinking a Monster.
Monster Zeros.
Yeah. Do you drink those a lot?
I limit myself to 2 a day.
What would you say your go-to drink is when you're sitting down reading?
I drink hot tea usually,
Hot
or
tea,
iced tea
iced tea. How do you take your hot tea?
with milk and sugar. Proper.
Milk and sugar.
I'm
Nice.
Canadian.
Are you?
Oh, I was raised as a permanent resident in Canada. Yeah.
Hot tea is really good. Do you like original too, or do you like have a flavor that you like?
I prefer if I'm gonna drink it out of the store, I'll get the Tetley's British Blend.
Nice. What are you currently reading?
I am currently reading Nocturne and Red, which is our book club read. I don't know if I
Okay,
have
yeah,
it
so that
handy. Yeah, it's a novella that
nice. Yeah,
by one
I
of our
like that
local
cover.
authors here. It
That's
is a
nice.
good cover. The story's is by K.I. Tolles, and I had a chance to meet her, I guess, at the Book and Nuga event, but I never got a chance to leave my table, so I missed her. But um, yeah, we're reading her book. It's it's a quick read. Um,
Yeah. You liking it so far?
I'm well, I get sucked in by anything vampire. I love vampires and um,
I can tell.
dragons, and yeah, a good
Nice.
vamp romance is always good. But this one, it started out pretty slow. Um, about halfway through when she finally meets the vampire, and now they're going on a date, and I'm not sure if whether he's determined to kill her and she's determined to that he's her lost love, and I don't know. It just doesn't float my boat.
I see. So, what's the last book you rated 5 stars?
The last book I rated 5 stars would have been that Twister, the one Ain't No Love in Oklahoma
Okay,
by
yeah, I seen that one.
what's her name? Can't remember author's names very well. You think I'd do better, but I did a review on it.
Well, it was a
Another thing
five
I
star
fall for
read,
is
so
Twisters.
caught your attention.
Twisters and sharks and vampires. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So I counted you published 15 books, is that right? You don't.
Ebooks. Yeah, I've got quite a few.
Wow.
They all are in the process. Well, I originally published 6 books online through Amazon. I guess I can't say that, but the Big Zon, and then they all sucked. So I realized that after the fact, when nobody was reading them, or I was getting some pretty sketchy reviews on them or remarks. So I pulled them all, and then I started revising them.
Hmm.
And I realized that it's okay to get editors to help you with stuff and to seek help. And I needed it. I was no good at the formatting when I tried to get the manuscripts uploaded through the KDB robots. You know what I'm talking about, where you can upload
Yeah,
your stuff to
yeah,
it and it'll supposedly set it all up. It just messed everything up. So
yeah. It gets very
when I got
confusing.
my when I got my print books, and I was using a pseudonym at the time, Rottweiler,
Hmm.
and then I realized I'm just going to rebrand everything. And once I got them where I was okay publishing them again, I just used my real name.
So your newest one, is that the fucking vampires?
No.
Oh, okay. I was looking
Fucking
at your site and it
yeah, the
said
booking site.
I was going by the dates. It said like
That
newest to
was
oldest.
that was a Halloween writing contest for a group on not Literotica, but the Bookapy or Stories Online. They have a group called the Clitorides. I
Okay.
didn't make that name up, and I won it 2 years ago for several of my books, including Below the Belt as best novel of the year. And then
Nice.
they were doing a Halloween contest, and I wrote fucking vampires, and they didn't even get an honorable mention because they were like, well, it's not about vampires. And it's like, no, it's not about vampires. It's about a chick who gets bit by a vampire and turns into something completely else. Or that's not a vampire. She's more like a succubus.
Right.
And then she goes after the fucking vampire that created her and has an epic battle with him.
I love that. That's so fun.
But they took the
It's still
title
related.
and completely misconstrued the whole story. So
Right. So Below the Belt would be your newest then.
Below the Belt was my very first novel I ever
Oh.
wrote.
So
Actually,
you're just
I ever
basically
wrote seriously.
republishing these. I gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
So what was the very first one? Oh, you said very first was Below the Belt. Okay. So
The
what's
first one
the
I published on mainstream. The first ebook I ever published was a book called The Last Survivor, and it's really not a very good story. It's on the profile, the e profile that I have,
hmm
but eventually I'll get around to rewriting it. But
So what's
the people that
the
read it liked
like
it.
newest one? Like what did you last write?
I'm currently working on a book called Black Ice,
Okay.
and it's about halfway done. And it's about a black guy he's actually from Côte d'Ivoire, which is the Ivory Coast, um, west coast of Africa. It used to be a French colony, and because it was a French colony, the French Foreign Legion would recruit their members there without really acknowledging the age limit. So he was recruited at the early age of 15, and then he was trained to be. I don't know if you know much about the French Foreign Legion, but they're pretty badass. They actually have special operations units and clandestine units, and he was one of the most notorious killers for the entire organization, and he gets burned in New Orleans and almost killed, and then they just abandon him. So he's left there trying to survive, and he's got the American mafia after him, and he falls in love with a nurse, and then he realizes he put the nurse in danger, so he runs away, and basically he does everything wrong. He's like a James Bond that makes tons of mistakes and is gets shot up, gets beat up, never really wins a fight fair, even though he is badass. I try to make him as human as possible.
Right. That's good. Those characters get the best reactions.
Sure.
Uh so do you have a go-to comfort read, or is there a specific author like when you're in a slump that you like to go back to?
I like fantasy, and I guess one of my favorite fantasy authors would have been John Flanagan. He's a Australian author, one of my favorites, and he wrote a series called The Ranger's Apprentice and Brother Band series, which are young adult fantasy, but they're set in medieval Europe, like Great Britain, and like he calls Scandias, the Scandinavians are called the Scandins, or the place where the Scandinavians were from, the pirates, the Norse pirates were. He calls it Scandia, and then he just makes up different names, but he uses the British map. But it's all fantasy.
Nice. What does your writing process look like? Do you plan, or does it kind of just go with the flow?
No, it goes. I'm a total pantser right now. I've got so many scenes in my head with this book that I'm writing right now, Black Ice. It's like torn between New Orleans, which was a year ago when he got shot up, to present day, which is a year later when he's finally back in Paris and he's totally forgotten about his girlfriend, and now he's dodging hitmen that are coming after him, and at the same time he gets caught up in a kidnapping attempt with involving the richest guy in the world, who's so rich they can't even calculate his wealth. He's that rich, and he's got two daughters who keep putting themselves in danger, so he gets sucked into being their bodyguard for 90 days.
Nice, nice.
And if they survive, he gets a lot of money, and if anything happens to them, well, the last security detail didn't survive too well. They didn't do too well when they escaped. But I've got all these different scenes going in my head, and I have to get them out, and then I got to kind of put them in chronological order with the way the story goes.
Nice. Yeah, I do that too. Rach said pantsers for the
Answers
win.
for the win.
Yeah.
I love it. But
I'm like that too. I have a basis, and then I kind of just go with it and fill in the blanks.
I was working on a story before this one, interesting, but I had to quit writing it because it's a story about World War III. and it's set in contemporary times. And I made the premise of the World War III start from an EMP blast, and I made it as realistic as I could. I did a lot of research on it, kind of like Tom Clancy um, does Dale Brown, and it. I was writing scenes to this story, and then I started it before the election. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to go political or anything on my political affiliations or whatever. You can draw a conclusion from the fact that I'm in deep Tennessee, but you would be wrong. And I didn't care who won the election. I was going to castigate that president as a idiot and a warmonger or whatever, and I was going to have martial law declared in the country over their actions, which was they're going to freak out and order a nuclear strike on U.S. soil against a terror cell.
Oh.
And as I was writing the story, all these things started happening. Like there was an invasion of Venezuela, and then there was Iran got attacked by coalition forces. There was a war in the Strait of Taiwan, and then these oil refineries all got attacked, and shit just started happening in real life. And my followers who were reading the story were like, Jesus Christ, Oz, do you have a crystal ball or something? And I was like, I'm just going to stop writing this right now because it's just getting too real. So I put the whole story on hold.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Pointed Hat Society.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Carrie. Her name's Carrie Stoner, but she can't go by Stoner because for some reason all the social media platforms flag the name. I love her. She was my neighbor at the
Oh, nice.
Once Upon a Page place, and we had a blast. I absolutely loved her display.
Yeah,
She's from New Orleans as well.
I was stalking you a little bit. I was trying to find some of your friends that interacted with you the most, and I was tagging them. So she was one of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you have two dogs?
I have two Rottweilers.
Two Rottweilers, and I'm assuming where Rottweiler Publishing came from.
Yep, I've always had Rottweilers.
One of my questions was, have they inspired one of your characters, like your side characters that you have?
There are two Rottweilers in Below the Belt.
Okay.
And there's a Rottweiler in Still Waters.
Oh,
but
nice.
almost all my books have dogs. In fact, there's only one story that I've written that doesn't have a dog in it.
Do they act like your dogs?
Yeah, they do.
Nice.
Except for Bandy, who's in Stone Cold, is in a mixture of Bernese Mountain Dog and Australian Shepherd, and she's too smart for her own good. And gets in all kinds of trouble.
So you said sometimes they do interrupt your writing process, but they settle down?
They do.
Yeah.
But they're not a big distraction.
That's good.
I live right next to the train tracks, so not really a lot will distract me.
Oh, well, there you go. We live close to a train, but we barely hear it, so it's more like a trolley train. Which book would you most like turned into a movie?
I don't think they could do Below the Belt because it's too dark.
Oh, dark
probably Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Any ideas on casting? Have you ever thought about it?
Oh gosh, no.
None at all?
I don't own a television.
What if someone would reach out to you and be like, this is a great basis for a movie?
I don't know. It's kind of like the whole argument of traditional versus indie. You know, you kind of lose a lot of control over everything. Like Christopher Paolini, when he wrote his book Aragorn, and then they turned it into a made-for-TV series, he lost all creativity, all creative rights to it, and he was so disappointed in the way it came out. And I don't blame him.
Yeah.
That they just didn't finish it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to be in control of a movie if it ever were one made.
I think that was part of the negotiation with Brandon Sanderson when he got awarded. I don't know if it's Netflix or Amazon or somebody who's going to do Mistborn.
So, what's one scene you've written that still sticks with you to this day from any book?
There's some combat scenes in Below the Belt that had my developmental editor questioning some stuff.
You think those would make good scenes?
Probably not, because they're pretty realistic. And realistic is not like made for Hollywood, you know?
It depends on the story.
Yeah.
So, a lot of your books seem to explore like revenge and divorce, and what draws you to those themes?
I don't know. I think I guess I was reading them a lot on public forums, writing forums where people were posting their own stuff, and I was reading what they wrote, and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. But then it would stick in my head of something else I saw. Books are the same.
Yeah, my
Yeah, me too.
moderator, Rashawn, you might want to keep an eye on Note Sticky there. Of all your books, which ones challenge you emotionally?
It would have been Below the Belt. I
Yeah.
was in a bad place when I started that book. Ironically, about 4 years ago, almost to the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got some bad news about somebody, and then that I served with, and then it was right before Memorial Day. Not my favorite holiday.
Did it take you long to write because of it, or do you felt like because you went through that, it kind of came all out easily?
I wrote it really fast. The first version, I wrote it really quickly. I probably wrote it in like 3 months. Just whipped it all out. But then I fell prey to a vanity press, and they talked me up, and I fell for everything, and I paid them a lot of money, and they published it, and then I realized it was just horrible because nobody was buying it. And so
Oh,
that's when
I
I
think
hired
Johnny
the
bought it,
developmental
didn't he?
editor. No, he bought the revised version.
Well,
After I
revised.
took it offline, I hired a developmental editor, and she spent almost 3 months with me on it, and ended up writing about a 70-page report on all the things that she found wrong with the story and ways
Oh
I could make
my.
it better. And I spent over a year revising it from that point. So
It takes me about a year to edit and revise things, so wow, 70 pages. That's a lot.
yeah, I ended up adding almost 20,000 words to the story because I
Wow.
added whole new characters, his extended family. I put a lot more into it.
Oh, cool. I love your characters. In Stone Cold, they felt really real and raw. Do you pull those from personal experience, or do you just find like,
Uh,
yeah, by observation?
oh, that was by observation.
Hmm.
I've been through some divorces, but nothing like that bloody. Nobody's tried to kill me or anything like that.
Okay.
Um, no horrible legal battles, but no, I made all that up.
No ex-wives.
Uh, None that I portrayed in my books yet, but we all get along for the most part. One I never communicate with, and the other one lives about 4 miles from me, and we interact almost every day.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. As a retired Navy corpsman, how has your time in your service influenced your storytelling? And like, how do you build your characters from it?
The medical background has come in handy for a lot of stuff. The series that I'm working on getting published in print next is the Deja Vu trilogy, which is about a kid who he's handicapped. He's got 2 below-the-knee amputations, and he goes through a lot of rehabilitation, which I'm familiar with because I've worked rehabilitation centers for years.
Yeah.
A lot of my characters, they wake up on mechanical ventilators and intensive care units, and I have a very strong background in that as well. Everything from ECMO therapy to full life support systems. I've
Nice.
done it.
Wow. Looking back on your journey from the Navy and then wanting to become an author, when
Oh, Sorry, they want to say hi. Can you see him?
Hi. Are you hot? You want to be in the video?
They want this ball. Sorry about that.
That's all right. So when did you decide that you wanted to become an author?
I've honestly been writing since I was a young man. I was fortunate enough to not go to a public school. I lived on a boat, so I was part of up in the Pacific Northwest. I was a fisherman, a commercial fisherman, and we fished everywhere from Shill Shoal down in Seattle all the way up to Ketchikan, Alaska, and all through Canada. So I spent a lot of time at sea, and I did my education through correspondence courses through a program called the Migrant Education Program through a Port Townsend School District. And my teacher, Mrs. Penny, all she talked about was writing. She made us, we had to write journals, we had to write stories, we did poetry, you name it. And then I got to meet a very famous fellow. You might have heard of him. His name is Frank Herbert. If you haven't heard of him, you've heard of his most famous book, Dune.
Yeah.
I met him when I was 12 years old
That
in
is
1978, and I got to hold the manuscript to The White Plague. And that was part of a creative writing process. And basically on the boat back then, we didn't have internet or color TV, or we had shortwave radios and stuff and lots of books. And I had a Commodore 64 computer. If any of you are as old as me, you probably remember that one. And I used it as a word processor. And my dad and I, we wrote a lot of stories together. And we sent them out. Back then, you had to send them out in one chapter in a manila envelope with, we had a book called The Writer's Guide, and it came with all these literary agents' addresses, and we'd just send them all out and just collected reject slips right and left. But I wrote my first couple stories when I was like 13, 14 years old.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so from your writing experiences, what is one strength you believe you have?
Oh boy, it's probably pretty easy to answer. I've got pretty thick skin.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
You can't really hurt my feelings, and I think a lot of that is what I try to, sorry about the back window, but what I try to impart in new writers and other indie authors is that, when I read your book and I can tell you made all the mistakes that I made, and I had somebody in my corner who spoke the hard truth to me and said, you need to work on this, this, and this, that there's actually 7 rules of grammar for a reason and you need to follow them. And I learned a lot from that, that positive feedback. And even in the negative feedback, people could say, I didn't like your book because I didn't like this, this, or this. I could work with that. It's something that I could fix, but I can't fix something that's when somebody just says, oh, this book sucked,
Right. Right.
So I would make sure that my beta readers and all, when I was publishing on the public forums, I told everybody, I want your negative feedback. Please, hurt me with the truth, but never comfort me with lies. And I've tried to extend that same courtesy to other people, and it's been, I would say 4 out of 5 people don't take too kindly to it when you say, look, you really need to work on this, or before you try to publish something, you need to get an editor to help you out because you can't do this way, the way you're writing right now.
Right. Right. So what would you say a weakness right now is? You said you've learned a lot. Maybe you could share a weakness from the past, or...
I guess my weakness is that I don't want to be an editor. I try not to get sucked into being an editor unless it's somebody I really know and enjoy. You, of course. I'm having a blast reading book 2.
Oh, thank you.
But like I met an author at Once Upon a Page who wrote a bunch of short novellas, and the covers are incredible. And he signed them all for me. We got to talking a lot. He's a much older guy than me, and he said he'd been writing for about 20 months. And when I picked up the first one, it was pretty obvious he'd only been writing for 20 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty awful. I mean, the paragraph structures were bad. There was no dialogue tags or anything, like no action tags. And I just had a hard time reading it. And he just was absolutely in love with adjectives and adverbs and descriptives and stuff like that. And I want to reach out to him and say, look, you really should pull all these books and get somebody to help you write them again, because you're going to get nothing but negative feedback. But at the same time, I just want to mind my own business.
Yeah.
I don't like to be that kind of person.
Yeah, I get that. All right, so I'm learning to get thick skin too, and so you can hurt me. So since
I probably have.
since you're reviewing my book and editing it and beta reading, what's one strength and weakness that I have?
One strength and weakness you have. God, your strength is you could tell a damn story.
Thank you.
I mean, it's really a good story, and I love the characters, and you have this way of creating a tension without, I don't even know how the hell you do it. But it's like I was just reading that one chapter about the backyard party, and I mean, the characters weren't even there, and the tension was building.
Right. I love characters.
I don't even know how the heck you did that, but it was awesome. And then you love the word just.
I do. I can't tell you how many times I deleted the word just before I sent you chapter 5.
I couldn't help it. I was like,
now I'm going back through and I'm like deleting every just. I'm like, I can't do that.
Well, a couple times it's okay to use, and it's justifiable, no pun intended. But boy, my mentor was he's an old character. He's a published author too, and he's his name's Jack Knapp, Knapp, and he's got a lot of books out, and the man can sell a book on the Zon. But he wasn't even a grammar checker or a punctuation checker for me. He wasn't a grammar Nazi or anything like that. He just one of his pet peeves was the word just. He's like, you use it all the time, just and then and just and then and just and then. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. I could write like a big boy and put commas in there and eliminate a lot of these words, And that was one of the hardest adjustments I took to as a writer trying to get taken seriously, was that I thought you had to use a lot of words to write a good story. And his advice was exactly the opposite. He says, you tell a good story with less words.
Right. There's so many times where I feel like it's not enough and I just want to over-explain everything.
I know.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't think you over-explain it. I don't know. It's just weird. You just have this. You have a gift for saying more with less, and it's really fun to watch.
Before
I
even let people see it, I'm like reading it over like 3 or 4 times myself before even letting another eye see it. So. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Well, the first thing I do is I read out loud. Your stuff.
I've been trying that too.
Yeah, and sometimes. And a lot of people write these just like paragraph long sentences that you just like, you get near the end of it and you're hyperventilating because you don't have any more air in your lungs. And it's like, okay, maybe I should make that into 2 sentences or 3 sentences or see if I even need it at all. That was the last 3 books I read, only one of them I rated, because the first one was that guy I told you about. And then the second one was a fellow I met on another social media platform altogether. It's my fitness platform, and it turns out he's turned out to be an author, and he's like, oh yeah, I wrote a book too, you should read it. So I was like, yeah, I'd love to read it. He's a published author, why wouldn't I? Well, he would write a paragraph and a half where he basically was saying that he helped his wife into her robe and loaded her into the Jeep. But he did it all the way down the stairs, pushed the button to the garage, pushed the button to the fob of the car. And I was just like, man, we don't need every single detail. Like, we don't need to know that you knelt over to tie your shoes. You just got dressed. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Some
That's
people
why
just
I try to keep it fast paced. When you ask me how many chapters, I'm like, I like to keep it moving so people don't get bored and yeah.
oh, it gets good. It gets good right away. That's the cool thing about your stories. I'm always about that hook. You know, I
Yeah.
want to get hooked right away.
I had this literature teacher and she was always like pounding us with you need a good hook, you need the hook. She was always
Yep.
about that. So that's one thing that stuck with me that I have to hook people.
Mrs. Pointed Hat Society has a pretty good hook in her book.
Really. I have to look her
Yeah.
up and her books more.
Oh, those are great books. They're about witches in New Orleans and
Nice.
the history of them. You know, she done her research. She's also from the area, and she actually put these witches inside a convent. You know, so if you look at the title of her book, I think it's genius because she capitalizes the word coven inside the word convent.
Nice.
And that gives you an immediate idea. Oh, these witches are hiding out in plain sight as nuns, right? And you're thinking,
Mhm.
not only is that brilliant, they erase they escape the the witch trials and all that stuff. Although I think the time difference varied, but if a nun does something magical, it's a miracle, right?
Mhm.
But if a witch does it, it's heathen, and they have to be burned.
Yep, definitely have to look her up. Witches are my jam.
She's oh, it's a really good book, and I've been wanting to get into book two, but I got so many other people I've committed to reading.
Aw. I didn't I don't know. I just had this well, I didn't know much about you at first. And then when you were like, I'm gonna read your book and I'm gonna get it, I'm like, I don't think he's gonna like it. I really don't. And then I see the 4-star review and I'm like, oh, I was so surprised. I don't know. I just didn't take you for a fantasy guy.
No, I. That's what's funny is that I love to read fantasy. I don't. I've never written it. Well, I've written like a couple short stories, but I've got so many other stories in my head that I'm afraid that once I go down that fantasy rabbit hole, I won't ever come back out again.
Right, right.
And
And
to
I
me,
wouldn't have probably even asked you to be a beta reader if you wouldn't have offered. So, what made you want to say, "Hey, I'll read it for you. I'll read it with you."
because book one was that good. Plus,
Oh,
you're just a hell of a nice person. I mean, you've humbled me. I mean, the way how positive you are and how supportive you are of other indie authors, and you kind of drug me into it as well. It's kind of funny because you're like, hey, I want you all to go come and follow this new up and comer guy. His name's Johnny P. And I'm like, hey, I'm on board. That's probably the third or fourth person to actually like him. And then I looked up his stuff and I was like, wow, that looks like a good book. And then I read it and I was like, holy crap, that book, it made me put it down at the end and go, what the hell? I mean, his writing is so way, I call it mature, you
yes.
know?
Yeah.
And he's definitely not a young adult writer, man. His stuff is pretty intense.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You should have
But
seen the stuff that he sent me through email. Like that, it gets pretty crazy.
yeah,
Um,
and just
yeah.
meeting him, I could tell he's that kind of crazy.
It was so awesome. Like he just messaged me out of the blue randomly one day and he's like, "Hey, I hear you're looking for some reviews and I could use some too." And he said my book's been out for like 5, 6 months now. And I'm like, he had no videos up or nothing. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing? It's that good. Like get on the ball."
Hmm.
He's awesome.
And that's what separates you from the masses too, is that you and I share that thing in common. Where when we say we're going to read your book, we're going to read your book, and we say we're going to
Definitely.
review it, we review it. And I don't ever, even the people I reach out to, be it on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, if I see a book that is intriguing to me, I'll reach out to them and say, I'm going to read your book and I'm going to review it. And I'm not asking you anything in return. I don't believe in that because I think when you do that, you set yourself up for failure.
Hmm.
Like when you hand your book out to friends and you're sitting there waiting and waiting for them to get back to you and all you hear is crickets and then
Yeah.
you're just disappointed. Um, when my reviews show up, I'm just happy they showed up. I've given up writing for that reason, you
Yeah.
know? I'm not looking to be the next bestseller. I just enjoy the hell out of it, and
Right.
I really enjoy reading other indie authors.
So do I. So do I. I think that's how all indie authors should be. It like money. Yeah, it's something, but it should be in the back of your mind. Like this is what you enjoy doing. You just want people to read your work.
Hmm.
So what are you most excited about with Soulbound, or is there anything you're curious about, or anything you'd like to see happen?
I don't want to give anything away. I mean, can I guess? I mean,
Yeah, you can take a guess.
I'm pretty sure Adrian's going to be an asshole. I think he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to be necessarily a bad guy, but there can be multiple good guys, that all do the same mission. But when it comes to fighting over the girl, Hazel's the eye on the. They've all got their eye on the prize, and she's the prize. And I have a feeling that it's going to get ugly before it gets better.
Well, that's what makes a good story.
Hmm. Oh, I hope it does. Because I mean, like I said, already the tension's built, and I mean, she gets spun up just seeing him talk to another girl, and he sees her, and his eyeballs change, and it's like, yeah, that bond is there, and I'm still trying to figure out the bond part, but
Yeah, it's
it's a
definitely
mystery
gonna
that
have all
I'm,
the emotions.
yeah.
Any so do you think Adrian's the bad guy this time, or what do you think is happening? Do you think Balthor's back? Any predictions there?
I don't think Valthor got destroyed, but I
Too easy?
think I don't know. Is it like a Sith Lord? There's always an apprentice. It makes you wonder. I don't know, but I'm
Yeah,
excited to find out. It's it's fun.
Pointed Pat, this is my book. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll show it at the end. Key to the Bloodbound is mine, and he's beta reading my second one, Key to the Soulbound. So
young
yeah.
adult fantasy. It's very good. Shifter romance type. But oh man, with so many twists. I just love it.
Do you have any books you want to show? Your books? Do you want to show us right now and talk about them?
That I've written.
Yes,
Well, I gotta probably turn some lights on here.
I am. I'm going to be
Um,
asking for ARC readers pretty soon. Hopefully by the end of summer.
I guess I don't know if it's gonna be backwards or not. Can you all read that as Stone Cold?
I can read it. I don't know if you. I have the option with like a three dots, and it shows like mirror your video if you want to try that, or if not, that's fine too. I can make it out.
It's Stone Cold. It's a story about a guy he suffers a lot of childhood trauma, and most notably, and I try to put this as a trigger warning to people because whether you like trigger warnings or not, there's a teen suicide or teen unaliving right at the very beginning of the book, and it's his little brother. And so he's pretty messed up over that. And then later on in life, he gets betrayed by his wife, his one true love, and he just can't take it anymore. And he gives up his job and everything, and he goes hides in the Oregon wilderness and builds a cabin and tries to isolate himself for a while, but he gets lonely, so he adopts a dog. And the woman who runs the shelter, he falls in love with, and she's pretty independent. She's pretty badass herself, and they're uniquely suited. And the dog adds a flavor to the story that all the book readers, the book clubs that have read it said, "Oh, I just love Bandy. She's my favorite part." And of course, I rest assured nothing bad happens to the dog.
Good.
But she just does annoying shit, like he leaves her in the truck when he goes into a cafe and she discovers the horn. And so she just jumps up and down on the steering wheel to make the truck honk, to annoy everybody in the restaurant. Just little stuff like that. And then when he
Brings
has
home
her,
baby animals.
yeah, she kidnaps the bunnies. And that's a real life thing that happened with my service dog Bandit.
Oh.
He actually found a bunch of baby bunnies and brought them to us.
Aw.
All the time hiding them from his brother, Beast, who was a Great Dane, who would have ate them, not knowing any better. And then Bandy goes out and kidnaps the baby fox because she's bored and lonely. And then I throw in a pregnant woman who's wandering the streets. They realize she's probably homeless, and it turns out she's fleeing from human traffickers. And the human traffickers make an appearance, and it doesn't end too well for the human traffickers.
Anna, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Thought so. You have any other books you want to talk about? You can talk
I
about
have.
all. I got time if you got time.
I've got one called Still Waters, which is book one of two. It's a duology, and it's a story about a guy named Vince or Chad who is involved in a bitter divorce with his wife, and at the worst possible time, he wins the Powerball lottery worth like $140 million, which is, and he's determined he's not going to share a single dime with her, so he has to go through a bunch of sketchy legal stuff and a pretty genius plan to avoid having to pay any of it to his ex.
Mm-hmm.
And he has 3 children, but only 2 of them are biological. One of them's not his because she cheated. And it turns out that the one that she cheated with, his non-biological son, Bobby, he's really close with. He's the youngest. And because the 2 biological kids kind of go with their mother's side, that, and they're old enough to go start college, that after the divorce is final, Bobby stays with him and they move to the Caribbean. And it ends up in a throuple spicy romance with twins. But a lot of drama happens, courtroom drama, mafia, organized crime drama,
Of course.
murders, betrayal, backstabbing,
Nice.
and revenge.
Yep.
And then book 2 is called Fair Winds, and it's about Bobby when he's in the Caribbean after he grows up to, he's like, well, he doesn't grow up, he's like 15 or 16 years old, and then he becomes a 17, 18-year-old, and he falls in love with this Jamaican girl, and they sail around the Caribbean, and they discover a hidden sunken shipwreck from the 13th century, and it's like the discovery of a lifetime, but it's guarded by this giant bull shark who's pregnant and has a really bad attitude.
Nice.
Nothing happens to the shark.
Does anything happen to any of the animals in your books? You keep them all whole?
Ooh,
That's
yes.
too much of a spoiler.
Nobody died. I would never intentionally harm. I would never harm an animal. But one of the Rottweilers in Below the Belt gets bit by a coral snake
Oh.
and almost dies.
Oh.
But she doesn't. But she does. It's not really taken away from the story, but she does lose a leg.
Oh. Well,
But
she
they
lived.
have to. She lives.
She lives.
And she's just as ornery as before.
Nice. Any other ones you want to talk about?
That's the 4 I've got published. The ebooks that are available on the Zon that aren't published yet are my Deja Vu trilogy, which is gonna go through some serious revision because it's about like I said, it's about a boy who's a double amputee, but he gets hit by a car while he's running home. At the time is 1984, and anybody who's as old as I am would appreciate that time. We called it the .com era back during the original computer industry and Microsoft millionaires and stuff like that. But his name, I won't bother with his name, but when he gets hit by the car, he wakes up in the hospital and he's got this sentient set of memories, like a second personality in his head. And the personality is from his former life. Okay? This is where the sci-fi kicks in. In his former life, he was a 14-year-old boy, 1984, gets hit by a car, and he becomes a double amputee, and he lives his life up through, makes a lot of bad decisions, winds up in prison, and ends up dying in prison. And then the moment he dies, this story starts again. Only this time, because he's got this sentient memory bank in his head, he knows what's going to happen in the future. Not directly, but he knows how the guy lived his life in the future. So when his former, the character's name is Peter, and his old voice is called Old Pete or the Ghost. And when the ghost remembers reading a newspaper about Starbucks going public, and just after it went public, it went crazy. He knows what stocks to buy, basically. So he becomes the richest man in the world. And he's also a genius and a programmer. And he becomes basically the most powerful man in the world. But at the same time, he's got these 2 voices vying for his sanity, and he is fighting a losing battle. And so the story starts from a young adult side where he's at rock bottom, and then he progresses to where he moves to Arizona and takes up with the Apache reservation, and he's very rich at that point in time, and he starts having visions there, and they call him Two Spirit. And then he starts to realize that there's an enemy out there that he was never aware of before, and they are aware of him, and they're a pretty sinister enemy. And then he has to become pretty sinister to fight them. And by book 3, it gets really dark, and he actually starts to lose his mind.
Oh, wow. I think when I was looking through your books on the site, Spider's Web, that one stuck out to me. Do you want to talk about that one?
Oh, that's on Stories Online.
Okay.
I guess write that down, storiesonline.com or zbookstore.com, because it's an adult series. But that's a story. It's called the Carter Davis series, and I wrote those a long time ago. It's a kind of a badass story about a guy named Carter Davis who gets framed for a murder he didn't commit, and he spends 17 years in a maximum security prison before he's exonerated. And then he's released, and he doesn't want anything to do with society, and because he served all that time, the amnesty group that got him freed also gets him a large chunk of money, and he uses it to buy this plot of land out in the middle of nowhere that's got a canyon built into it, and he just moves into this canyon and tries to stay away from society, but that doesn't work out too well for him. Well, and he ends up in a lot of gunfights and fighting badasses, and there's a lot of spice and debauchery. A lot of
adventure.
And then I did a spin-off story on one of his characters, Trinity, who goes to college after he raises her and teaches her basically his survival instincts that he learned in prison, and she becomes a MMA fighter, and she's also like a He-Man. She's a welder, fabricator, and she gets it's a story about her in a school shooting.
If readers take away one feeling or lesson from your books, what do you hope that they take away?
Boy, I wasn't expecting that question.
Told you I had some deep ones.
Some comments were filtered to protect the community's experience. I guess I should have kept my mouth closed.
It's all right. It's fine.
I would like to say my stories are about redemption, second chances.
Right.
Facing adversity and overcoming it.
So basically, you want people to face their fears.
Yep.
Great. So, TikTok automatically records these, right? These videos?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it does. So I'm going to have the full video of this, and I've been uploading them to my YouTube page. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then I've also been putting the interviews into my monthly newsletter, so you'll have to give me your email, and I'll send that to you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Does anyone else on here have any questions for JV?
You just got the number 3 viewer badge? Is that you?
Yeah, because you've been on here the longest. Like, duh.
Oh, wow.
Go follow JV if you're not. Go follow JV. Give him some gifts if you can. Go buy his book.
You can go to my webpage, which is roddypub.com. Here, I'll just type it out.
Rashawn, you following JV? No, I don't.
That's my webpage. I did it through Tertulia, which is the web builder for authors. And it's now allowing me to sell my books directly so I can sell signed copies. Oh, Jesus, Merlin.
Make sure
Almost
to
hit my wine rack.
click on his face and follow him. You have a good night too. I'll definitely be checking out your books.
Thank you. You all have a good night. Point head. Yep. Good night, Karen. Carrie. Yeah. It's Carrie. Carrie
I guess
Stoner.
Johnny partied too hard.
Yeah. This is one of Vocation's book 2 of the Pointed Hat Society's books on witchcraft in New Orleans.
Thank you, Rashawn. Rashawn is she's a life coach and she's writing her own book about her trauma that she experienced. So
I was looking at her page. Actually, I watched her videos.
Yeah, she lives in Pennsylvania with me.
Cool.
Hopefully she gets her book up and going. I'm trying to encourage her as much as I can. You know me.
Let me know when.
Yeah, he'll read it.
You do say the word. You say the word and I'll read it.
More videos to come where you're on camera. JV's starting to do that more.
Yeah, I did. I actually came out of it. You can thank my my friend Destiny. She's my PA now. We made it official today. She's going to be my PA, and she's been busting my chops to get live on socials. So.
Yeah. Socials are a big thing when publishing books.
Mm-hmm. Kind of fun too.
Yeah. Some people get discouraged by it. I'm like, well, if you make it fun and have fun content and stuff, it doesn't seem that bad.
The trick for me is I pre-record my videos because there was no way I would do this live, get on here and start talking, because I can talk. And I will spend 5 minutes just blabbing before I even get to the point. Mm-hmm. So I'll pre-record it and I'll look at it again and I'll go, no, I need to narrow it down a little bit. And it's kind of like writing and editing.
Yep, I'm the same way. Yeah, because people like really short videos on here, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm having a hard time staying below 4 minutes.
Yeah, it is rough. Yeah, sometimes I'll just if I'm over 4 or 5 minutes, I'll put it as like a YouTube video and make it like a vlog. So yeah, I've been starting a YouTube channel, and maybe that's something you ought to look into if you like to talk.
I really spend my time writing, but yeah, I do need to get out there and figure all that out. I'm still figuring out the TikTok part.
Make daily vlogs.
Oh, if I took these guys for a walk, they would drag me down the road. They have a big fenced-in yard.
Nice.
Rottweilers, they don't have brains. Well, they do, but mine don't. And like Merlin, if he sees anything that rolls or like a ball, he'll. A lot of kids think that he's trying to attack them. He just wants their bike. You know, when my kids were little and they had those little scooters, he would chase after them and steal the thing right out from under their feet and drag it around the yard trying to kill it. He's just stupid that way.
I have a pit bull and he's really derpy, so.
I love pits.
Yeah, we have a pit bull and we have a Yorkie, so we have like 2 different breeds going on.
Good Lord, a pit bull and a puntable.
Yep. Yep, she's an ankle biter.
Well, they're brave at heart.
Yeah. Our Pitty's a senior right now, so he's all lazy and stuff. And
Happy's over here destroying a ball. Aren't you? Happy. She won't acknowledge me because she thinks I'm going to take it from her.
Oh, wow.
I suck at making and editing content. You probably don't suck as bad as you think you do.
Yeah, I mean, if you check out her videos, she's doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at your content. It doesn't look bad to me at all. It looks like you're a normal person, a human being. You're not trying to fake anything, and that's what I think most of us appreciate.
Yeah, that's very true. You go look at most of these profiles, and you're like, I'm not sure.
That's all we can do.
She said she's been using the TikTok Studio app. Apparently, you can do all kinds of things with that and schedule like TikTok posts and.
Oh, there's all those filters and stuff. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I know there's a bunch of buttons on the side that I can play with and add backgrounds and fillers and change the timing so that I'm talking faster or slower, but I haven't played with any of that, honestly.
I've been trying to teach Johnny too, so if you need any tips, let me know.
All the tips I can get. I still want to be able to. I see people talking about how they can add a video in the upper corner, movies and stuff, and they can attach them, and then you can like make text appear and disappear.
Yeah, they have like filters where you could be playing a video in the background, just have a picture up. Yeah, you can add text. You can do all kinds of things. Yeah, you just gotta play around with it someday.
I will. Hi, Merlin. He's quite proud of his ball. He wants you to see his ball. Merlin. Oh, no, he's not going to share his ball anymore. Merlin. Look at me. He's like, I got a ball. He's very proud of it.
He looks very proud. All right, Rashawn. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Chelsea. Make sure to follow JV if you aren't.
I follow Chelsea.
Do you? Yeah. Chelsea wrote. I don't know if I showed you. Chelsea wrote Rated R. She's a poetress.
A what?
Dark poetry.
Oh, poetry. Okay, she's the poet. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm going through her book. Yeah, so hope you like the interview, and yeah, it'll be up on YouTube, and it'll be in my June newsletter when I send it out. And
well, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you wanting to do it.
And I still have chapter 5, right? That's the last one you sent?
Yep, I sent chapter 5, and I was just gonna wait till everybody got caught up to send more. That way, I can do my edits too, and yeah.
Are you getting mostly chapter 4 back already? Most people? Or?
I still need to get it back from Rashawn and Johnny.
Okay. Well, I'll do it. I'll work on it tonight. I'll work on 5.
No rush, no rush. Like I said, the only lenient due date that I had is that I'd like to have it like pretty much ready to go by the end of summer, which I think is pretty doable. So.
Well, 5 chapters is 1/6 of the book, so yeah, we'll get it done easily.
Yeah, I have me and Johnny have another event coming up in November, and I'd like to have some like advanced reader copies put on the table if possible. So, not trying to rush it, but if it happens, it happens.
Well, after we do this beta thing that we're doing now, how does it work? Are you going to do an arc or a street team or something, or what?
Yeah, that was my plan. I was going to probably ask for arc readers about September. I'm not planning on launching it completely till like February, and then I was going to do like pre-sales at the end of January. But yeah, I figured September would be good to get it like boosted and get it out there.
Are you going to do a Kickstarter or something?
I might. I don't know what to put in them.
I don't either. I've signed up on Kickstarters for people, but I've never done one of my own. I don't know that I ever will.
I had this like crazy idea that I wanted to do like a special edition and do like a velvet cover, but I'm not sure how to go about that yet. So just thinking about other stuff, but
sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then I'm going to go eat something, and then I'm going to start writing or editing chapter 5.
Sounds good. I look forward to your comments.
Thanks, Tess. I know you're not.
I am. You make me laugh all the time when I read them. And I'm so glad you give me the good and the bad feedback. So it's not like you're just like throwing them at me, but you often say what you like too. So.
Oh, I catch myself snorting beer. It's funny. Some of the stuff you write is just hilarious.
I can tell you love Cole because every time I have like a Cole beat, you're just like, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Oh, he's awesome. And I love the little sister too.
Good. I want to give her more of a bigger part in the third one, but I don't know how I'm going to play that out yet, but I'm thinking about it.
I think she's fine just the way she is, just being a little turd in the background.
I want her
That's
to bring
cool.
around a little more though, but yeah.
Well, she's going to manifest powers too eventually, and I feel sorry for anybody that thinks they're attracted to her. Alrighty, well, I guess this is it then, huh?
Yep, I'm good to go
Alrighty.
whenever you are.
All right. Well, thank you, Tessa. I appreciate it.
Yep.
I'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right, just did an interview with JV Osborne. So if you're not following him, make sure to do that. And then I will probably get off here too. I need to get some reading done, and I hope you guys have a good night. And I appreciate you popping in and bringing some comments up and getting the live out there. So thank you. I hope you guys have a good night. Night, Chelsea.